In this solo life, peace is not hard to find. Just look around. Nature blooms with a reminder. Peace and tranquility have been here all along. They are only resisted by a sense of greed. But if you just take a step back, breathe in the forest air, and appreciate the beautiful all around you, you'll remember. You may have forgotten why you're here, but now let yourself remember. As we continue the story, we start here, back in the snow, retrieving the remainder of our loot. The trip all the way home was a long and dangerous path, but one I had to make. With my caution high, I made my way. If you're new to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and it guarantees that you'll get your dose of chill every week. Eventually, I saw green. And in the middle of the night, I made it home. The first thing I did when the sun came up was take my jackhammer and do some farming. With the stone I just collected, I began to expand. Afterwards, I headed out to farm the road, and along the way, I did some hunting. this moment, the server seemed calm, so I crafted a hatchet and I collected some wood. As soon as I had the chance, I began building out the second floor, but first, I needed to honeycomb the base. After adding the essentials to my base, I decided to seal off my suicide bunker. And yes, even out here, the toxicity followed. But I didn't let that hold me down. I kept trying, because eventually, I would make it. And so, I spawned out by outpost, crafted a stone pickaxe, and collected some stone. Along the way, I farmed the road. When I got to outpost, I recycled everything I had, and I was surprised to see that I had enough scrap to research some things. didn't have enough scrap to research this SAR, so instead I used it for protection while I ran home. I was in need of a lot of stone, metal, and sulfur, so I made some tea, drank it, and cut out some time to simply farm. Now, I'm not big into raiding, but this wipe, I wanted to take my chances and see what would happen if I raided a small group. So before the sun came up, I headed out to a base I had chosen. And just as I was about to throw my first satchel, I heard this. I decided I would wait until things cooled down before I raided. I passed over my most valuable items into my suicide bunker, and I began to upgrade it to sheet metal. I was feeling much safer with my bunker upgraded. So I took a green card and I headed out to do satellite dish. Satellite dish did not go as planned, so instead I collected all my raiding gear and I went out to start the raid I had attempted before. You see, I'm not a gambling man, and this was a waste, a gamble I didn't need to take. I'm glad I did it, but it's just not my style. After the raid, I took another green card and a fuse box, and I tested my luck at Satellite Dish once again. Any opportunity to expand, I took it. The more options I had to distribute my loot, the safer I'd be if I got raided. It's true, this base is not cheap, but the price you pay for comfort is worth it to me. Next thing you know, I found myself down here. On the hardest server in the game. I expected difficulty, but not like this. This was my first attempt. I quickly recouped and made my way back. This was my second attempt. I don't know how he saw me that easily, but luck was not on my side. After that series of losses, I needed to take a step back. I loaded up a SAR, and I collected as much loot as I could that would yield me scrap from recycling. And with that, I made the long voyage to Outpost. I was ready to do whatever it took to have a successful wipe. And when I arrived, look who I found. I'll never understand the mindset of players like this. Camping the elevator. Where is the honor? Back home, I began building a shop so that I could bring my scrap and cloth home safely. I didn't like that every time I went underground, I died in the elevator by Outpost. I was determined to make this run work, so I made some coffee and I focused.
I can tell. You have a heart. I can tell you don't care if you break me apart. Tell me it gets better. Tell me I'll be fine. Tell me I'm alright. Feel okay, you save my life. Tell me lies if it gets me by alive. Will you lie?
Finally, I had made it. raiding all around, I found myself in the crossfire. The raiders were far too close, so I needed to build out my compound quickly. So I made some pure wood tea, and I collected as much wood as I could. With all this wood, I began building out an extension to the base for my furnace. I like the electric furnace, but something about the wood-burning furnace makes me feel calm and peaceful. As strange as it may sound, I could almost smell the wood burning. With my large furnace burning, I turned my attention to electricity. It was time to light up the base. At this point in the wipe, I had basically everything I wanted. But there's one thing that I enjoy adding to my base to make it that much cozier. It required a lot of wood and stone, but it was worth it. Having a pool was so nice. I didn't have water in it yet, but I wanted to make sure I fortified the base before bringing in water. Now that my base was fenced in, I was ready to go to a river nearby and collect some water. When I got to the river, I noticed a raid happening right in front of my eyes. Of course, they saw me. In the dead of the night, I got my water and quickly disappeared. When the sun came up, I began filling the pool. The water was perfect, exactly what I needed. As a solo, you have to know how to appreciate your own company, because if you learn to appreciate yourself, you'll instantly learn how to appreciate others too. And so I swam in my pool from day to night, and when it got too dark, I let the light come through. This wipe was one of the hardest wipes that I had experienced. And of course, not everything was put in the video. A lot of hardship was cut out. But as you can see, here, as dreamers, we make the best of every opportunity, good or bad. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to my YouTube members, dreamers. Without your support, I wouldn't have the energy to make these videos. So just know that I cherish you deeply. You've been watching an Orange Dream production.